Und da sind wir auch wieder bei Genshin Impact, Folge 204, um genau zu sein. Also nur für euer Interesse, wenn ihr jede Folge aufmerksam verfolgt habt bis hierhin, dann habt ihr um die 102 Stunden Videomaterial verfolgt. Und das ist noch lange nicht das, was ich an Spielzeit in dieses Spiel investiert habe. Nee, das ist nur das, was ihr hier an Quests und hast nicht gesehen erlebt habt. Ja, so ist das. Da kommt selbst ein erschrockener Blick von der Seite meiner Freundin. Ja, so schnell kann die Zeit vergehen. Na denn, Juan lässt uns hier in diesem Häuschen übernachten. Da sagen wir doch nicht nein.
Hi there. Checking in, are we? You're just in time. We only have 2 rooms left. Since this was chosen as the building site for the new Jade Chamber, we've had a constant stream of people in this area. And not just workers either. Visitors, business people, tea sellers, all sorts. So, business is booming for me today. Very few vacancies. You're lucky you got here when you did.
Great!
One of your rooms is still being cleaned. I guess it should be ready within the hour. The other room is just through the door on the left. Here are your keys. All right. Hope you enjoy your stay. Please excuse me, I'll leave you to it.
Shenhe, you should go get some rest. We'll hang around outside until the other room's ready. Paimon's gonna go see if there's anything good to eat around here. Paimon couldn't help but notice one of the guests walk in with a huge grilled chicken drumstick before. Let's buy one for Shenhe too. She can have it as a midnight snack, or save it for breakfast tomorrow.
All right. I will head to my room for now. If you need anything, don't hesitate to disturb me. I'm a light sleeper. I will hear if you knock on the door.
Ja, geh erstmal schlafen, Mädel.
See you tomorrow. Ja,
genau so machen wir das. Und wehe, du verkriechst dich irgendwo anders oder du schläfst auf dem Fußboden oder solche Sachen.
Hey, isn't that Cloud Retainer? What's she doing here?
Guck mal, Frühstück.
Say hi.
Ja, ist doch perfekt. Paimon wollte doch Hähnchen haben. Da oben haben wir eins. Und mit zum Hähnchen gekrochen. Nom nom. Hab dich, Geflügel.
One trusts you have met Shenhe. So, are you getting along quite well?
Ja, sie ist nicht so gesprächig, aber hat ordentlich Power, wa?
So far, so good. Yeah. So, you know Shenhe too, Cloud Retainer?
Naturally. Save for Ganyu, who spends the majority of her time in Liyue Harbor. All the Adepti living today are acquainted with Shenhe to some degree.
Cool. So, what's her Adeptus name anyway? Calling her Shenhe feels kind of friendly, but also kind of disrespectful. So Paimon's thinking maybe it'd be better if we called her by her Adeptus name instead.
Her Adeptus name? Why, pray tell, would Shenhe have an Adeptus name?
Warum? Gegenfrage, warum denn nicht?
Don't all Adepti have a special title they go by?
On this latter point, you are correct. However, Shenhe is human.
Oh, right. Wait,
Ja.
what?
Das, okay.
Paimon neither. This is a real surprise.
Ja, auf der anderen Seite sollten wir nicht jeden x-beliebigen dahergelaufenen, der so ein komisches Amulett trägt, gleich als Adepten sehen. Ich meine, das ist ja nichts Besonderes jetzt hier mittlerweile irgendwie geworden. Trägt ja jeder so ein Ding, der einen Namen hat. Und nicht irgendwie, keine Ahnung, grauer Wolf oder so heißt.
Do you mean to say that she presents differently from ordinary human beings?
Well, to start with, her problem-solving methods are extremely direct.
Ah, yes. She was like this all those years ago when one first met her. In this respect, she has not changed. One first found Shenhe by chance in a cave. One was passing by and sensed the presence of a god's remains. Being of an ever-vigilant disposition, one entered immediately to inspect the scene. Inside was Shenhe, then aged around 6 years old. In her hand, she held a dagger with which she was confronting a monster that was the god's remains incarnate.
Okay, die hat natürlich das Steinwesen einfach mal so mit links platt gemacht. Ja, wo wir die ganze Zeit am Rumkrepeln sind, keine vergescheite Truppe finden, die dieses Ding überlebt. So, sie so, Pieks, ich bin jetzt ein Tonberry. Pieks, Pieks.
That sounds so dangerous.
When one arrived, she had already been locked in confrontation with this monster for several days. Most mortal children are fragile, both physically and mentally, and are highly reliant on their parents for survival, but not so her. That she was able to endure such terrible danger was due not only to her strong willpower, but also to the bloodlust and homicidal instinct with which she was born. One dealt with the monster, yet she still refused to lower her guard. She even pointed her dagger in one's direction and remained ready to strike. Only after she was satisfied that one had no intention to cause her harm did she finally relent. She then passed out without uttering a single word.
Was in Wahrheit geschehen ist. Shenhe hatte nach dem Kampf gegen dieses Monster so großen Hunger, dass die eigentlich den Vogel essen wollte. Der Vogel sie die jedoch so angestarrt hat, die gemerkt hat, dass sie sich hart verausgabt hat und jetzt nicht noch nach Essen jagen kann und ist dann einfach umgekippt.
In other words, if you hadn't passed by that day, Shenhe might have...
Not necessarily. Upon one's arrival, one could sense that the god's wrath was gradually receding. Even had the stalemate continued, one suspects that Shenhe may have still emerged the victor of the confrontation.
That's still so dangerous, though. Why was a tiny little kid battling against the wrath of a god in the first place?
Warum muss mir die ganze Zeit ein quäkendes Viech hinterherfliegen? Das ist genauso, die wird schon ihre Gründe haben, so wie ich einen Grund habe, deine Existenz in meiner Gegenwart zu tolerieren, Paimon. Ich habe nebenbei immer noch Campinggeschirr dabei.
Alas, the mortal world is rife with suffering of every kind, and she had experienced her fair share of this, even at a tender age. Seeing that she was homeless, one decided to adopt her.
Aha, du bist also die Meisterin, Meister Teriyaki.
Indeed, it is one to whom she refers. Shenhe has an extraordinary constitution, making her well adapted to practicing the Adepti arts. All the Adepti cherished her talents, and so we were willing to train her.
Wäre eigentlich Yaki-Senpai der richtige Ausdruck für den Vogel? Als Meister? Achso, ältere Mitschüler. Okay. Yaki-Sensei. Teach me, Yaki-Sensei. Sonst Teriyaki-Sensei sie war.
However, her homicidal urges did not subside with age.
Yakitori, stimmt.
They grew stronger day by day.
Gebratener Vogel.
Mooncarver once performed a divination for her. He declared that her fate is to bear the curse of calamity. Consumed by malevolent energy, she is prone to bring harm to those around her. Such is the magnitude of the danger this poses, that her soul must be bound with red ropes, to keep her homicidal instinct at bay. The red ropes have indeed served to keep her calmer and more content. They also seem to have rendered her somewhat inexpressive. Perhaps the red ropes are so powerful that they have suppressed some of her other emotions as well. It is only by fate that people's paths may cross. Now that Shenhe's path has crossed with yours, please be sure to treasure the gift that fate has given you, and take good care of her.
Ich finde es schön, wie diese Vögel einfach sagen, ich habe Wichtigeres zu tun, als mich als mich um ein Adoptivkind zu kümmern. Das ist jetzt deine Aufgabe. Ich blätter dann mal wieder weg und suche Würmer.
Oh, now Paimon gets it. You came out here to check up on Shenhe because you were worried about her, didn't you?
Huh. You dare draw such a facile conclusion on the nature of one's present excursion? Incorrect. The truth is that while Liyue Harbor may seem peaceful today, danger is always lurking in the shadows. Ningguang once made a bold assertion that this is to be the era of the contract between Liyue and the humans. Well, one is most curious to observe how she will respond to the coming storm. If she handles it admirably, one is willing to be a witness to her achievements. But if she does not, the Adepti shall not hesitate to seize control. Let us conclude our conversation here for today. One has occupied enough of your time, and night is approaching. Be sure to get ample rest.
So, Shenhe isn't an Adeptus after all. She just grew up around the Adepti. Oh, no wonder she doesn't like being treated as an Adeptus. Having everyone falling over themselves to show their respect all the time must be kinda hard to deal with.
Tja, so sieht's hier aus, ne? Ach, guck mal, wir haben hier noch Nachrichten. Finden wir natürlich. Und einiges an Ankündigungen. Mich stört es immer, mich nervt es immer super dolle, dass immer so unglaublich viele Sachen hier geschickt werden. Wer ist das denn? From Have Fun Everyone Austria. Was habe ich mit Australien am Hut? Mach nur einen Scherz. Jetzt nicht Flame. Ich weiß, dass Austria ein Nachbarland ist. Ja gut, dann lassen wir doch mal die Zeit vorspulen. Zwischen 8 und 12 Uhr. Aber ich wollte einfach die 9-Gag-Witze noch mit aufgreifen. Da wird ja öfter mal sich drüber lustig gemacht, dass Leute Austria und Australia nicht auseinanderhalten können.
Hey, so, Shenhe...
Master has relayed my situation to you, I take it?
Ja.
Oh? How did you know?
I'd intended to wait until you came back before going to sleep, but I didn't hear you come in. I was worried that something may have happened to you, so I went outside to check and caught sight of my master. On top of this, you have been acting very strangely around me this morning, causing me to suspect that my master must have told you everything about me. After all, Master is... very talkative.
Gut, dass du das sagst. Ich finde das ja immer sehr witzig, dass das ja immer so ganz geheimnisvolle Wesen sind. Diese ganz geheimnisvollen Wesen, aber ziemlich wenig verheimlichen.
Sorry, Shenhe. Paimon had you down as an Adeptus this whole time, but it turns out Paimon was wrong.
It's okay. I don't mind. The fault is mine for not explaining everything to you sooner. because in my experience, trying to explain is a futile pursuit. Still, though you mistook me for an adeptus, you never treated me as distant and unapproachable. Instead, you treated me as you would a friend. For this, I am very grateful indeed.
To be fair, we've met our fair share of real adepti, too. Anyway, now it's settled. From now on, you're our friend. Whether you're an adeptus or a human isn't the important thing. First and foremost, we're just plain old friends.
Ich glaube, Paimon hat nur wieder Hunger. Und sie wittert hier Yakitori.
Got it. Although I don't know quite what it entails in terms of what I have to do, I must say I like the title, friend, very much indeed.
Great! Well, now that we're all rested up, we should start searching for the other 2 items on the list. But before we do that, let's go to the building site and ask Ningguang's little helper how the progress is going. After all, Sunset Vermilionite is so rare. Paimon doubts many competitors will really be able to find any. If it turns out some of them have given up already, we'll be able to take things a little more slowly.
Ach, dafür haben wir aber ganz schön...
We bought some grilled chicken drumsticks on the way back last night. There was a place just outside. Here's one for you, Shenhua. Try it. They're
What?
so good.
Paimon verscherbelt einfach, während wir schlafen, unser Geld?
It has a rich flavor, far more agreeable than those I've cooked for myself in the wilderness in the past.
Diese kleine Ration ist ja nicht nur frech, sondern... Nein. Sondern... Was denkt sie sich dabei? Das habe ich erarbeitet. Ich ganz allein. Paimon verkriegt sich ja immer. Doofe. Faules Stück. Aber Hauptsache fressen. Ey, Beidou.
Look! The Jade Chamber is floating into the sky! But it seems to be tied down by something.
That's because it's not finished.
Hey, Bywin! And hey, Beidou! And hey! Person Paimon doesn't know?
Given the enormous scale of the Jade Chamber, we split the construction work into 2 phases to make sure the structure remains balanced. Before we find some suitable plastrite, we build the Jade Chamber's keel at ground level. Once the plastrite is ready, we place it into the keel and let the partially constructed Jade Chamber rise up to the height of the surrounding mountain peaks. The remainder of the construction work is then carried out at that altitude. Once everything is ready, we release the iron tethers and allow the Jade Chamber to rise to its target altitude.
Miss Bywin, we've brought some new materials to submit.
One moment, I'll be right there. The construction work has only been able to progress this rapidly thanks to the plastrite provided by you. Lady Ningguang is most grateful and looks forward to seeing more of your work.
Wow, can't believe you sourced the plastrite so quickly. It's the key piece of the puzzle. Looks like you beat us to the punch.
Beidou? You're joining the Jade Chamber contest too?
Sure am. I happened to get my hands on a chunk of Sunset Vermilionite on a voyage a while back, so I figured I'd bring it over.
Mit Beidou als Konkurrentin wird's echt schwer. Zum Glück ist die auf unserer Seite.
It's rare. We're not the only ones who managed to get a hold of it.
Oh, I've got some introductions to do. This is the renowned Miss Yun, or Yunjin, probably the most famous figure in the Liyue opera scene.
Greetings.
These two are Paimon and the Traveler, both good buddies of mine. And this is... sorry, not sure we've met.
Shenhua. I am their... friend.
Good to meet you. A friend of a friend is my friend too. Or, as I like to say, a mate of a crewmate is part of the crew. Miss Yun is also here for the contest. Turns out she needed to borrow a boat, so we came together.
It's an honor to finally meet you both. I've heard much about you. Miss Shenhe, though we are only meeting for the first time, I have a feeling that we will get along very well indeed. To be honest with you all, I am in great need of this opportunity to ask Lady Ningguang a question, That's why I joined the contest. Thanks to my father's connections, I was able to acquire a specimen of the plastrite required. Fortunately, it was approved for submission, despite being a little on the diminutive side.
Wow. So it looks like the three of us are competitors now.
Excuse me for prying, Miss Shenhe, but are you competing as well?
No, I don't have any questions for Ningguang. I just wanted to help her win.
In that case, I have a proposal to make. Lady Ningguang said that the first 3 contestants to procure all 3 materials will be awarded the chance to ask a question. Well, there are 3 teams here. We can split the prize between us. Instead of competing against each other, we could work together to secure the top 3 places between us. What do you think?
Sounds great, but how does that change things exactly?
I think I see where you're going with this, Miss Yoon. The plastrite was the most difficult item to source by a long shot. Luckily, all 3 of us managed to get our hands on it. The 2 remaining items aren't quite so rare, so as long as one of us finds a way to source it, the other 2 can hop on the bandwagon. How'd I do? Is that what you had in mind?
Precisely.
Huh. Interesting approach.
Okay then. All right, I'll go first. I have some leads on these wonder cores. From what I've heard, the core itself is really not that difficult to make. The hard part is getting hold of the ore used as raw materials. I'm gonna head back to the ship and ask Suling if he's heard of them. You guys...
We will head into town and seek advice from Master Zhang of Hanfeng's Ironmongers. Thoughts?
Ja, auf den Typen kann man sich verlassen.
Wonderful. We'll split into teams then, and whoever makes progress first brings all of us a step closer to victory. I'm gonna take off. See you later.
Ja, denn. Das sieht echt... Das klingt einfach. Keine Schlägereien.
By the way, what question are you gonna ask Ningguang Yunjin?
I'm looking for a venue to host the performance of our new opera. Lady Ningguang has excellent judgment, so I would like to hear her opinion.
Ooh, what's the opera called? Paimon wants to go see it.
The opera is a labor of love by my father. He wrote it based on a popular urban legend about an evil spirit and an adeptus. It's called The Divine Damsel of Devastation.
Das klingt ja freundlich.
I take my meals cold to
Warum
quiet.
wird mir das jetzt nicht ange... Ah, oh. Moment. Der Auftragsort wird derzeit nach die Spur des... Klar. Ach ja, super. So habe ich's gern. Den Auftrag müssen wir leider verschieben. Leider. Dann würde ich sagen, machen wir das nächste Mal genau hier weiter. Wir reden mit dem Koch Mao. Und dann wird das quasi eine Quest, die davor, nee, die dahinter geschoben wird. Weil das muss ja hier Folge 204 bleiben. Dann wird das irgendwie Folge 208 oder so etwas. Sehen wir dann. Also, an dieser Stelle leider einen etwas frühzeitigen Cut. Aber wir sehen uns das nächste Mal wieder. Bei Genshin Impact. Irgendwann. In einem halben Jahr oder so.